Hello Cancer, welcome to your May tarot reading. I hope that April has been peaceful for you. I know that people have been going through certain amount of emotional turmoil and filtering, and maybe also getting rid of things that no longer serve. I hope that you were able to go through it and maintain some kind of balance. I'd like to have a look at May for you to see where we're going. So I'm just going to get straight into it. I am going to do things a little bit differently this time, in that while I'm shuffling for the cards to fall out for you, I will be speeding that element of the video up in order to cut down the length of time of the video, and it does get a little tedious watching, so it's for your benefit too. If you haven't already and you've just found the channel, please do click subscribe and the notification bell. I would really appreciate that. And if you feel this reading resonates with you, then leave me a comment and tell me how it does. There will be aspects of the reading that doesn't resonate with you. It is a general reading for all Cancer, all people of the sign of Cancer. So just take what fits and leave the rest for somebody else. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into your cards now, and I'm going to start to shuffle. Okay, Cancer, I have your cards drawn, and they're quite an interesting bunch. So I'm going to start off with the, we've got on the top row the Five of Wands, the Fool, the Moon, the King of Wands, Hanged Man, Seven of Wands, Strength, and the Page of Cups. So with the Five of Wands, we're looking at some kind of stress that you've been through. There's been a period of growth. There's been a catalyst to change for you, and it looks as though that kind of process has allowed you to see how things stand. It has allowed you to see where you are vulnerable, and given you the opportunity to see where you can grow, to kind of plant a seed or create a ladder out of the pieces of information, if you like, the understanding, in order to come out from the darkness, if you like, into some sort of clarity and into the light. So you may well have had several points of stress over the last period, and it may seem as though you haven't, you're not moving forward, rather, but it's kind of like a milestone. It's kind of like a catalyst, a point in time which you will look back on to see the effect, how it propels you into a certain level, a certain arena, a certain sphere for your growth and for your benefit later. So then we have the Fool, which kind of backs that last card up, as the Fool is one who is on a journey, inspired by the voice within, inspired by knowing that where he is right now isn't satisfactory. It doesn't bring him fulfillment, or her. And although the path is unknown and there are no guarantees, the Fool is propelled forward as if by some sort of instinct. Now you notice in this card the girl has an amethyst crystal, which indicates clarity and also protection. So this is an indication that the universe is pushing you forward here to try and move you into a sphere that is going to be more beneficial to you, where you can express who you are as an individual on a much deeper level. You notice we have the flower of life, or the seed of life, the sacred geometry. So that indicates that this is on your life path. This is a blueprint, and whatever stresses and struggles that you've been going through are to kind of give you that motivation to keep moving forward and not to rest on your laurels. So then we have the moon, which is your card, Cancer. And I don't know if you know about the moon card. It indicates a period of self-examination, if you like, within the deep waters of self, in our emotion and in our spiritual selves. We do hold a lot back. We do hide things from ourselves, or certain things are hidden from us, certain understandings or insights. And the moon is trying to shed a different kind of light on that. You notice that the moon's light is very different from the sun's light. The sun's light is very literal, whereas the moon casts a very surreal light upon the landscape. Sometimes it's about illusion, this card. It's about either ourselves or other people not appearing to be what it is or who they are. And it's trying to ask us to look a little bit deeper, or it's about the things that we hold within that kind of we kind of ignore, or we view in a way that is perhaps illusory. So this is asking you to draw upon the depths of self and look at where we can kind of vent certain things and allow things to come to light. Then we have the King of Wands. I always get my knights and my kings mixed up. So the King of Wands is a very powerful character. He has this huge creativity and motivation. He often does need the muse, though. He sometimes he requires inward inspiration is the word I'm looking for. But he has the power, he has the fire and the motivation to get the job done. He is able to plant the seed in a way. He's a great tactician. He understands how things work together. There's a lot of energy in this card, Cancer. And as I'm seeing the fire energy come in to your reading, especially next to the moon, I get the sense that you feel a lot more in your power. You are putting in your boundaries, you are discovering new strengths, and you are able to see a path forward. Perhaps finally you're able to understand that each moment that you go through is valuable. And I mean, when I'm looking at the wand of this king, you notice it has quite a lot of markings and symbols. And for me, this is indicative of his experience. This is an understanding, a memorial to what he's been through in order to achieve his kingship. So I feel as though there's an aspect of courage here, drawn from all that you've been through. Then we have the Hanged Man. Now, don't we all just love the Hanged Man? Not really. But it's necessary because it puts us in a position where we're able to see things from a different perspective. Sometimes our perspective is one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and we need to see the layers of it. We need to see the cogs, the workings of it. And so maybe things seem a little bit stagnant right now and things seem a little bit stuck. But this process is necessary. It's a building up to how you're going to move forward. If you notice the runes in the waters below, things are in creation, things are moving, and you're able to see that how they all come together when you are in this position of not being able to move so much. You're able to start looking at things from a different angle, from somebody else's angle. Sometimes you know, if you take the time to ruminate and understand that you know, from a different perspective, things look slightly different to your perspective. So I think this period of waiting is kind of rounding out your view upon things. And with this fire energy of the king, that perspective and that analysis is necessary for you to move forward in a way that has wisdom. Then we have the Seven of Wands. Now the Seven of Wands, I feel very interesting here because it kind of reiterates that we don't actually know what's coming in here. We've got these wands partially hidden. And what that says to me is that things haven't fully developed yet, and there needs to be a deeper level of discernment, a deeper level of analysis again. This person here, this lady, is in a much higher position. So even though the not knowing and the not understanding the roots of these issues and options and things coming in towards us, she may not understand where they're coming from and what they entail and how they will, what they will result in, but she's kind of protected. She's on higher ground and she's surrounded by a bubble. So there's an element of, look, you just need to allow these things to develop because everything's going to be okay. And so as much as it might feel like we're under pressure or under attack or kind of in a spin a little bit about certain how things are going to develop, we got you. It's all going to be okay if you just allow the time to pass and for things to develop. Then we have the Strength card, and boy, does it take a lot of willpower when we're on this journey of soul growth. So the Strength card is literally about the will of the higher self over the lower self, over the base nature. And we have this infinity symbol here on the lady's arm, and in the traditional deck, I think it's over the lady's head, indicating that there is a constant flow from the universe of intuition, of inspiration, of guidance. And that guidance comes through your higher self, or is your higher self, your guides, your angels, etc., your ancestors. And so what we have here is the higher self being the master tactician, being the wise sage, giving you skills and tools to rise above the fear, the instability, the questioning, basically all of the animalistic, survivalist kind of nature. It raises you above those worries and those stresses and gives you an understanding that you can be calm, you can be assured, if you like, if you're standing in faith in yourself. So then we have the Page of Cups, which is interesting, Cancer. Another water card here. And the Page of Cups can sometimes be, well, he's very romantic, but he's also quite ungrounded. And as much as his heart might be worn on his sleeve, he maybe needs to mature a little bit. Now you notice that we've got a little flying pig right there, and we've got the two hands holding the heart. And for me, this indicates, again, it indicates there's a lack of solidity here. So maybe what we need to see is this develop. We need to see this aspect become more rooted. And I feel that's what this process has been about for you. And through the month of May, you will start to recognize how things have changed, how things have shifted in terms of your stability, your root within yourself, your groundedness, your centeredness. I'm going to get some clarity cards on this for you, Cancer, and we'll see where we are. Okay, Cancer, what we have here is the Three of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Chariot, the Nine of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. I hope I don't say kings instead of knights today. So what we've got here over the Five of Wands is the Three of Swords. And this speaks about past hurts, past pain, negative experiences, being stabbed in the back, betrayed. Basically, it talks about the stuff that we carry with us in terms of the wounds and the negative experiences. And over the Five of Wands, I think it's a reminder that the pain that we suffer, as much as I don't want to take away from its impact, isn't meant to be carried with us. There comes a point where we can, tie all of that pain up into a little box with a pretty ribbon and kind of let it go. We need to unbind ourselves from the negative energy. And the Three of Swords here tells me that you may well be a little bit in your head in terms of what you've gone through. And so I feel as though, rather than see it as an Achilles heel, or rather than feel wounded by it still, see it as a gift of clarity, a gift of kind of like to promote yourself, to raise yourself above something that you were more deserving, and you needed to raise yourself above whatever negativity that you were in. So then we have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is traditionally the wish card, and it tells me that you have a vision of what you want in terms of emotional abundance and satisfaction. And the Nine of Cups is a wish come true, if you like. This energy is coming in for you, and in order to take you there, in order to grant your wish here for the ultimate kind of satisfaction emotionally, there has to have been a journey. There has to have been a journey taking you away from these stresses and into what you truly desire. Because in order to change what we get, we have to change what we do. So the Nine of Cups is to clarify that journey is in order to bring you your heart's desire. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles over the moon. Now the Knight of Pentacles over the moon indicates to me that this has been a very steady movement forward, a very steady progress. It might seem a little bit like walking through treacle. It might seem a little bit dogmatic and methodical or pedantic. But the Knight of Pentacles does dot the I's and cross the T's. He has the long view in his mind. He's going for the long-term benefits here. So for me, whatever work that you've been doing is not to be done in a shallow way. The moon asks us to go quite deep, and the Knight of Pentacles asks us to be diligent. So have a look at where you can really kind of rake through all of the aspects of what you've been going through, to see what it is that you've kind of still pushed down into the shadows, and examine that, and maybe ask yourself why that is, and maybe you weren't ready to deal with things then, but you could be now. Then we have the Page of Pentacles over the King of Wands. Hey, I got it right. So then we've got this powerful, fiery, creative seed energy, this wisdom of creation. And then we've got the opportunity. So for me, there's this energy coming in that's going to give you an opportunity to put that energy, that desire, that kind of vision to work. The Page of Pentacles is an offer, an opportunity, maybe a new contract to do with work or career. But actually, I feel this is more to do with what you're passionate about. It's more to do with you being an independent entity, if you like. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's a new job in a company. It feels like you could be striking, like you might even work in collaboration with people, but there's a definite opportunity coming in here. The Page is bringing you some communication and some options. Then we have the Two of Swords over the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man being about your processing, your perspective, the analysis, the allowing of time to click forward. Then we've got this Two of Swords, which is about indecision. So is it that your energy has been a little bit split, and this passion and vision has been a little bit this way or that? I could do this or I could do that, or maybe that will work and maybe that will work. So there seems to be a little bit of a split in your thinking here with the Two of Swords, and the new moon indicates that this is now an opportunity for you to solidify and put your full self into the emotion to discover what it is that really drives you. The lady here has a blindfold on, but she has the choice to make with the two swords. And so my suggestion here is to allow yourself to see, to dive into the waters of the emotion, and to get the clarity by looking at it honestly and with vulnerability. And then the answer will be made very clear. The Chariot here is interesting because we have this dualistic energy, the dark within, the aspects of self that we hide, and also the aspects that we present to the world. It's about our lighter and darker natures and getting them to pull together, getting them in a better alchemy in order for them to serve us. So sometimes we have parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily like, or we kind of keep that to one side or behind us, and rather than let it be the skeleton in the cupboard, draw it out, have a look at it, and see what fuels it, see what it is that has created it, and then use that energy and kind of flip that energy to be used externally. Use that power and that understanding of self to drive you forward. So these sphinxes here can pull in two different directions and therefore split us, but we need them going in the same direction. So use that power, both the light and the dark, to pull you towards your dream and your desire. Over the Seven of Wands, it speaks about understanding each and every opportunity and aspect, understanding the roots of things. So this whole reading is literally about kind of going to the ends of the tether to try and discover what's there, or the end of the rainbow. It could be a pretty rainbow, but there you go. So then we've got the Nine of Swords, and it's over the Strength card. Strength being about your personal will, your innate ability to rise above the petty and kind of animalistic nature. And we've got the Nine of Swords here, which tells me there's been a lot of sleepless nights and anxiety as you process the intuition from your higher self, as you kind of work through the changes in yourself. There is a lot of what's coming in, what's gonna develop. You're anxious, and that's quite understandable. Obviously, through all of this change, it does create a little sense of instability, but it's kind of like, things that are shaking at the moment, or they have been shaking, and it's time for it to settle. This is the end of the cycle here with the Nine. So what you will start to do, if you haven't already, is start to trust that intuition, because it will start to bear fruit. Okay, then we have the Knight of Swords over the Page of Cups. So this is an interesting energy. Page of Cups being that kind of ungrounded, kind of puppy love energy, the innocent love energy. And then we've got the Knight of Swords. Now he comes in and he doesn't hold back. He cuts through straight to the truth, and kind of, the swords are double-edged. So as much as they can help us cut through the noise, if you like, they can also cut us, if you like. So we have to be careful with this energy here, because it can be sometimes a little damaging. And I know that there's an energy with Cancer that kind of swings from one side to the other. There's a lot of vulnerability in you, and sometimes that can, in defense mode, manifest into this cutting energy. So have a look at where this clarity about the root of this love energy is coming. I don't know why I said that. I think it pertains to somebody out there. Anyway, the Knight of Swords comes in to bring a great deal of truth and clarity. Also brings in messages, information, communication. All right, so let's pull some advice cards now and see how this is going to go through in May. Okay, Cancer. We have two interesting cards. We have this card called Aloneness. Aloneness is about perspective. It's about how we see things. Often in society, there are certain benchmarks and expectations of how we should be, what we should be, how we should be connected to others, and what we should be doing to constantly achieve that. So the aloneness card is asking you to look at things a little bit differently. As much as we may have this word loneliness, and there's this feeling of loneliness, there's a very different feeling when you give this word aloneness some thought, because aloneness doesn't indicate lack. Aloneness is a point in our journey where we're able to focus on self. Aloneness is a feeling of not needing to be filled by another. And so this aloneness card, this journey, that part of the journey, or a lot of the journey, we have to do alone. We don't need the distraction of relationship, or we don't need the expectations and the pressure of having somebody alongside us in the path. We can focus fully on developing who we are without the influence of others. So this aloneness is quite a precious time, and perhaps if you are feeling a little bit lonely, this is the way to see things, is that this is your precious time. Then we have the rebel. Interesting that we've got the rebel here when we've had the King of Wands, as the rebel is breaking free of the ties that bind, breaking free of the chains of societal expectation, of other people's requirements, responsibilities. He's about to sing his own truth. He has the eagle here, the intuitive kind of animal nature energy that is driving him forward to shine his own light. You notice we have the torch here and the sun emblem on his shoulder. He also has clothing. I don't know if you can see this. He has clothing that resembles snakeskin, and that to me is about shedding a former self, shedding the cloak that you have worn for other people or for acceptance. And so this gentleman is breaking free of those bonds in order to become himself. So I really like that energy, Cancer. Let's have a look at an outcome card for May. Okay, so we've got the Page of Pentacles again. So I'll put money. No, I won't. I've got this opportunity, this energy. You're coming to stand in your power. Whatever it is that is your mission in life, Cancer, I really feel like you're going to see the start of that this month. I really feel as though this opportunity, this vision, this passion, this energy of creation is coming in. I don't think you're going to miss it. We've had this card twice now, and the whole reading is pushing you towards this integrity within yourself. So please let me know what you thought about your reading today. I'd really appreciate your comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.